Hello and welcome. I'm Lauren, the product manager here at Great Tunnel Websites, and I'm so glad you could join us today. We are going to spend the next little while diving into something that I've been really excited to get into your hands, the custom page builder. So whether you've already poked around in it a little bit or if today's your first look, this session is designed to show you just how much you can do with it. Today we'll walk through everything from choosing your starting point, whether that's a template or a blank page, all the way through adding and arranging components, uploading your own images, tweaking your settings, and publishing your finished page live to your site. By the end, you should have a clear picture of how to use this tool to quickly build polished, useful pages on your own. I do want today to feel like a conversation, so if you have any questions as we go, drop them in the chat and I'll do my best to address them as we move through the demo. So before we jump in, I want to take a minute to talk about where the custom page builder came from, because I think it'll help frame why we built it the way that we did. If you've been with Great Stone Websites for a little bit, you'll know that our platform already has a solid set of purpose-built pages, things like services, smile gallery, testimonials, and more. Each of those pages is designed with a specific goal in mind, and they do that job really well. But over time, we started hearing from practices about needs that didn't quite fit into any of those boxes. Things like a membership plan page, page for referring doctors, careers, content that's extremely meaningful and important to a practice, but just didn't quite have a natural home anywhere on the platform. And that feedback stuck with us, and it became the driving question behind the custom page builder. What if we gave you a page that wasn't designed for any one thing? A page that could be anything that you needed it to be. And that's exactly what we set out to build. So the custom page builder lives completely standalone from every other page type on the platform, which means it's not bound by any preset structure or content expectations. You bring the idea, and the builder gives you the flexibility to make it. So with that context in mind, let's get into the builder itself, and I'll show you exactly what that flexibility looks like in practice. Today, I'm going to walk you through the whole process from start to finish. So we'll pick a starting point, build out the page, and publish it, so you leave today with a clear picture of what's possible and how to do it on your own. So to get us started, we're obviously going to log into our site and navigate to the left-hand toolbar here under Custom Page Builder. We can either design a new page or view the existing custom pages. Since we're all starting from scratch, we're going to go ahead and click New Page since we don't have any custom pages quite yet. First tab it brings us into is the Page Info tab. So this has us fill out our page title, and today I'm going to be making a page focused on community involvement. This next section is the navigation link text. So this is the text that's shown in the menu dropdown. So if you want it to display in the top level nav or under the dropdown here, this is the text where you'll enter that information. Up next is the custom URI. So the URI is the text that'll show at the end of the URL of whatever page that we're building. You'll notice it auto-populates from the page title, but you can change that up if you wish. And then moving down a bit more here, we have our page statuses. We have 4 different options: draft, review, published, and archived. I'd always recommend starting out with these as a draft, just to make sure it looks good on the front end before we change to published. Once we do change to published, you'll notice that that flag comes up for search indexing. This will either allow us to have search engines be able to see this page or not. And then moving down a bit more here to the navigation sections, this is just determining whether it goes in the primary navigation or the sub-navigation. So primary navigation will live in this top level nav here, and sub-navigation is a drop down under those top level items. If we'd like it to go in the primary navigation, you're just going to select where you'd like it to go to the right of. So if we want it in between home and about, we would select home, as that would then go to the right of home. Same with about. If we want it to the right of about, we would click that right in here. Subnav, pretty simple. If we want it to go under the about dropdown, we would click this. And you'll notice as I'm toggling between these two, it will allow us to only choose primary navigation or sub-navigation, not both. That's by design. We don't want, for SEO purposes, we don't want multiple pages with duplicate content. So it'll have you just select one or the other. We do also have the option to display in neither primary or sub-navigation, totally up to you. All right, and once we get into the page builder here, I just want to talk about the templates versus building from scratch. So the custom page builder comes with 5 pre-built templates designed around some of the most common page requests we've heard from practices. Those include careers, community involvement, meet the doctor, a membership plan, and a location page built specifically for local SEO. So if the page you're looking to create happens to be one of those 5, template's a great place to start. Structure's already laid out for you and you can customize it from there. We'll take a look at the templates a little later in the session though. First, I want to show you how to build a page completely from scratch because that's really where you get a feel for the full power and flexibility of the tool. So we're going to go ahead and start with a blank page and build something together. Like I mentioned earlier, today I'm going to make a page focused on a practice's community involvement. So when we get started, this fixed width component is already added to our canvas. You'll notice here we have, again, full width and fixed width in the page templates. So the difference between those two, fixed width is set at 1200 pixels of your screen, which is about the width of this navigation bar right here. So it gives a little padding to the left and right-hand side. If you'd like it to be full width, that'll go just completely to the edge of your computer screen. So really up to you guys. You can mix and match. You can have some components fixed width, some components full width. A component that I think works really well in the full width is a banner image. So if you want your image to go all the way to the edge of your screen, but maybe the text to have that padding, I think that's a really nice way to kind of mix and match. So once we get into the page components here, they're broken out by type: layout, text, images and media, maps, call to action, and widgets. So today I'm going to make a community involvement page that I'd like to have half image, half text. So there are kind of some pre-built sections up at the top here. And I just drag and dropped that from the left-hand side into our canvas. And then right in here, once I have my content, I am grabbing this content from a separate document on another monitor. So you can have your content pre-written. So I copied that from my other screen. And then right in here, this clipboard with the T will paste as plain text. So what that means is it just doesn't bring in any formatting from your Google Doc, your Word doc, whatever document you're writing your content in. With that, I'd like this top sentence here to be an H2. So I just highlight the sentence and select the header type up here. Over on the right-hand side of my half image, you can either choose a file, and it'll bring up straight from your computer, or we have two new image upload options. The first one being my library. So my library is a new tool in the Custom Page Builder that allows you to upload your images directly to your website so that they can be used down the road in your Custom Page Builder. So a great example of how this would work is, let's say you get a new photo shoot done at the practice, upload those images to your library, and then they're available to use in the Custom Page Builder at any time down the road. So let's say, maybe your photo shoot was a year ago. We can't find those images, they're stuck in a thumb drive somewhere. My library is a great tool that comes in then because they're already uploaded. The other new option for images are stock images. So obviously custom images are key. We love custom images and we can get them. Sometimes a stock image is unavoidable. So we have this new stock images gallery where this allows you to choose from all of the stock images that GW has to offer. Just click stock images. We can choose between different folders and then select our image, which will bring us into our cropper tool right here. Up next, let's say on my community involvement page, I'd like to add a little bit of text. I'm going to open up our text section here. And then this very first option just gives us that what you see is what you get editor. And just note this is a brand new text editor, so it looks a little bit different from what you've seen throughout the GW platform. It functions very similarly though. So again, I'm just grabbing my separate document, copying my text, and clicking this paste as plain text. Give it some headers real quick. And there's our text section. So at any time in the builder, you can save, you can preview. There's also a preview tab right in here. So preview within the page, you don't have to swap around. Will give us a look at what we just created. However, if we want to see the full version, we can click this preview button right here. And just a note, if you do have any unsaved changes, it'll just pop up with this warning message that we just need to save our changes before we can preview. Then it takes us into that separate tab, shows us exactly what we're working with. And then this blue button here will take us right back to the page builder. Up next, like I mentioned, we can add an image that's full width if we'd like to. So I went into this images and media, grab our images, and drag and drop to the bottom of the canvas. So you'll notice that everything within the fixed width container lives within this dashed box. So my half image, half text is in fixed width, my text is in fixed width, but I drag and drop an image outside of it. So that's when it would go to full width, expand to the edge of our computer screen. We'll go ahead and add an image from our computer here and give it a quick crop so that it can upload. Going down below our new image, I always recommend a call to action on a page. So this call to action section gives us some different options. We can have a button, two buttons, a banner, a phone number, appointment/booking link. There's quite a bit of freedom here, and once you guys start playing around with it, I think you'll start to get the hang of these new tools. So I'm going to go ahead and add a strip right here. Add in my CTA text. And then this URL in the button, in any of the buttons in this call to action section, can either be a direct link to any page on your site. So if we type a backslash and contact, it'll go to the contact page. Or if we have maybe an external URL with the HTTPS www, you can paste that in here as well. Again, once we click preview, we had unsaved changes, so it'll just remind us, save that one more time before we take a look at what that looks like. One other thing I wanted to highlight in the layout section are these column layouts. So up here we have half text, half image kind of pre-built for us, but the column layouts allow us to kind of have a little bit more freedom on what we want here. So let's say this is our community involvement page. We have some great images of the practice, in the community with a food drive, maybe a Little League sponsorship. We can highlight those images here really nicely. So I just made our two column layout, and then it's asking us to drag and drop components within here. So for my example, I'd like there to be images. So I just drag and drop. Typically, the drag and drop editor works a bit best if you drag it directly to the middle of the area that you're going and then release it. Let our team know if you're having any trouble, and we'd be happy to help though. So right in here, we're just gonna upload our images again, give them a quick crop. We can also, you'll notice it has a preset aspect ratio. So as you drag and drop, it has a preset height and width. We can click this button right here to unlock it and resize it freely if your image needs it. And then once our images are uploaded, we can click Save Page and give it a preview. So pretty simple. We have our community page. In addition to, like I mentioned earlier, we have these pre-built page templates, which I'll go into in a second. But in addition to these global templates that everybody on the GDW platform has access to, we also have this section called My Templates. With this template, you can save your own design as a template for your site only. So you simply make the page that you're looking for and click this Save as Custom Template button, and it'll now display in your My Templates section so that your practice only can use that page again. It's a great idea for a page that the practice will use frequently, so you don't have to redesign it every time. So we can click Save as Custom Template, give it a name, and then once that template saves, it now shows in our My Templates section. All right, so now that we've seen how the page builder works from a blank page, let's talk about those global templates that I mentioned. So we have those 5 pre-built templates available, and these came directly out of requests we were hearing from practices over and over again. So rather than having you build those pages from the ground up every time, we wanted to give you a head start with the structure that's already designed and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete out the work that I have so we have a blank canvas here. And these page templates do come in full width or fixed width, whether you want it to go to the edge of your page or be that 1200 pixels. So we'll go ahead, drag and drop it out. And then here you see all the components are already pre-built. Just a note, they are filled with placeholder text, so it's super important that while we do use these templates, like I said, it's a jumping off point, but we definitely want to go in and customize with our own text and images. So each template is fully customizable. Think of it less as a finished page and more of a solid starting point. Layouts there, sections are in place, and all you really need to do to make it your own is swap in, like I said, that content, your images, and your details. It's the same builder that we just saw when we made it from scratch, just with a little more scaffolding to work from. So we can go into here, swap out our content. This is an example of the careers page. Add images from either our computer. We can go into my library and choose an image. And then it's already pre-built out. Customize it however you'd like. We're always open to adding more page templates down the road if we get more requests from clients, if we see, we're having this custom page builder is being used, and over the months we see this page is being added over and over again, we can always add templates down the road. All right, let me open up the chat real quick to see if we have any questions. All right, looks like there's no questions so far. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the image management tab. So like I was talking about earlier, we can add images to my library, but you can also view the GDW stock library. So right in here, this image management tab, this is how we would manage your library. So we can click view my image library or manage my library to view everything that we have. Here's where we can create folders, delete folders. So for example, headshots, external office photos, internal office photos would be great ideas for folders to create. And then right in here is where you upload images to those folders. So team photos, whatever you'd like from those photo shoots so that you're able to use them down the road. Then once we have your images in my library, that's when they'll display in your custom page builder. Once you're building out those pages, they'll already be added in there, easy to use. And then the stock image library, you don't need to worry about any of those. They're already populated in from the GW stock library. So when you're in the page builder, you can just click stock images and select from there. One other section we can go into here under Custom Page Builder, we can click View Custom Pages. And then that shows us once you have multiple pages built out, that'll show us which custom pages we have created. So here's our community page that we just created. It'll also show you the status, so whether they're published, draft, review, or archived. We can view them right here. We can also edit, duplicate, or delete them. So once your page is created, it'll automatically be added wherever we would specify it in the page info tab. So for our page, our community, we added it to the right of about, so it shows up right here in our nav. If you'd like to get the direct URL to your site, or excuse me, to your new page, you'll go back into the page info under this custom URI, grab that right here. So grab the r-community. And then once that's pasted into your URL, once we're clicked into there, then it'll show us our page. So you can copy this URL at any time and it will take you to your new custom page. All right. Looks like there aren't any other questions in the chat, so I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I hope today gave you a clear picture of what's possible, whether you're starting from scratch or using one of our templates as a jumping off point. You now have a tool that can grow with your practice and handle just about any page you can think of. My biggest encouragement moving forward to you is to just go try it. Log in, open the builder, and start exploring. The best way to get comfortable with it is to get your hands on it, and I think you'll be surprised by how quickly you can put something together. And keep in mind, you don't have to figure out any of this alone. If you'd like to sit down one-on-one with me to talk through ideas, explore what's possible for your practice, or even just ask bigger picture questions about where the product is headed, I'd love to do so. Keep an eye on your inbox. After today's session, we'll be sending out an email with the link to book time with me directly. So please go ahead and take advantage of that. I would love to chat through some ideas with everyone. If you do have more questions about a specific page or just want a little bit of guidance as you get started coming up with ideas, how this could apply to your practice, go ahead and reach out to your marketing coach. They're always there to help you make the most of this. And if you don't have a marketing coach, our support team is just as happy to help, and you can reach them through the usual channels. Thank you everyone so much for being here today. And on behalf of everyone at GW, we are so excited about this new product and can't wait to see what pages you all build with it. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for joining.